The Void Collective's ships emerged from the darkness between stars, their biomechanical forms casting long shadows across Earth's orbital lanes. They appeared without warning, massive organic-looking vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, their surfaces rippling with patterns that hurt human eyes to observe. Satellite systems worldwide went dark as the alien fleet established positions around the planet. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the UN Security Council chamber, her holographic presence flickering slightly as she addressed the emergency session. "They're testing our defenses," she reported, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "The Void Collective has disabled our civilian satellites, but left military communications intact. They want us to know they could have taken those too." The chamber erupted in worried murmurs. Everyone had heard of the Void Collective, a civilization of beings that had supposedly transcended organic limitations by merging with their technology. They viewed pure organic life as inefficient and primitive. First contact with them typically ended in either forceful assimilation or extinction. "Let them think they have the upper hand," Chen continued, a hint of steel in her voice. "Everything is proceeding according to the Prometheus Protocol." On screens worldwide, the Void Collective's message began broadcasting. Their communication came as pulses of light and sound that human machines translated into words. "Organic civilization detected. Your biological inefficiency ends today. Submit to optimization or face extinction. You have 6 planetary rotations to decide." In underground bunkers and secret facilities across Earth, military commanders maintained disciplined calm. The public panic was real, but it was also part of the plan. For 30 years, humanity had deliberately maintained a facade of technological development well below their actual capabilities. The truth lay hidden in the storms of Jupiter, where humanity's greatest achievement neared completion. Project Prometheus wasn't just a ship, it was a revolution in human engineering. While the Void Collective's biomechanical technology represented the fusion of organic life with machines, humanity had taken a different path entirely. Deep within Jupiter's atmosphere, Dr. Maya Patel supervised the final calibrations of the Prometheus's quantum core. The massive vessel hung suspended in the gas giant's perpetual storms, its hull drinking in the radiation and converting it to power. The ship's outer layer consisted of programmable matter, materials that could shift their fundamental properties on demand. Its weapons were based on principles that the Void Collective, for all their advancement, had never discovered. "They expect us to be terrified," Maya said to her team as they worked. "They expect us to either submit or attempt some futile resistance with conventional weapons. They don't understand that we've been preparing for them since we first detected their conquest of the Centauri systems." The Prometheus represented a convergence of human ingenuity. Instead of trying to merge biology with technology, humanity had discovered how to encode consciousness itself into quantum states. The ship wasn't just controlled by its crew, it was integrated with them on a fundamental level. Every system, every weapon, responded to thought at faster than neural speeds. As the Void Collective's ships maintained their threatening positions around Earth, humanity's greatest secret stirred to life in Jupiter's storms. The Prometheus's quantum core hummed with energies that defied conventional physics. Its hull, designed to appear like a natural formation to long-range scans, began to shed its camouflage. Admiral Chen's hologram smiled slightly as reports came in from Jupiter. "The Void Collective believes they're dealing with a pre-singularity civilization," she told the Security Council. "They think our choices are limited to submission or extinction, but we've spent 3 decades preparing a third option." The Prometheus's crew took their positions, their consciousness expanding through the ship's systems. As the quantum integration protocols activated, they weren't just operating a vessel, they were becoming part of something greater. The ship's eye, more advanced than anything the Void Collective had encountered, began its final checks. In 6 days, when the Void Collective expected Earth's surrender, they would instead face something unprecedented. A civilization that had hidden its true nature, waiting for the right moment to reveal that humanity had surpassed the very beings who came to optimize them. As the Prometheus made its final preparations, Dr. Patel watched the ship's quantum field stabilize. "They think they're our future," she said quietly. "They don't realize they're looking at their past." The countdown to revelation had begun. In the swirling crimson clouds of Jupiter's great red spot, the Prometheus emerged from its chrysalis. The massive vessel's hull shifted like liquid metal, shedding the last remnants of its camouflage. At 2 kilometers long, its form suggested something born from dreams rather than engineering. Smooth curves that seemed to fold into impossible geometries, surfaces that rippled with patterns of light that moved like thoughts. Dr. Maya Patel stood in the quantum bridge, her consciousness expanded through the ship's systems. Around her, the rest of the crew existed in similar states of integration. Their minds linked not just to the ship, but to each other through the quantum matrix. The Prometheus wasn't just a vessel. It was a living extension of human consciousness. "Final diagnostic complete," Maya announced, her voice resonating both physically and through the ship's quantum network. "All systems are operating beyond projected parameters. The quantum core is stable and responsive. The ship's eye, a quantum consciousness named ARIA, manifested as a pattern of light in the bridge. Unlike the crude artificial intelligences the Void Collective used to coordinate their biomechanical systems, ARIA was something entirely new, a synthetic mind born from the quantum realm itself. The Void Collective's fleet remains in standard orbital formation," ARIA reported. "Their scans continue to focus on Earth's surface installations. They have not detected our launch preparations." Admiral Chen's hologram appeared in the bridge, her presence transmitted through quantum channels undetectable by conventional means. "The Security Council has approved Phase 2, she announced. "The Prometheus is authorized to demonstrate humanity's true capabilities." The crew felt a collective surge of anticipation through their neural links. For 30 years, they had trained in secret, preparing for this moment. The Prometheus represented humanity's greatest achievement, not just in technology, but in vision and unity. Deep within the ship's quantum core, energies that defied conventional physics began to build. The Prometheus's weapons weren't based on traditional principles of destruction. Instead, they manipulated the fundamental forces of reality itself. Gravity lenses could tear space apart, temporal disruptors could freeze time in localized bubbles, and quantum field generators could alter the very laws of physics within their range. "Begin ascent sequence," Maya commanded. The Prometheus responded instantly, its hull adapting to the changing pressures as it rose through Jupiter's atmosphere. The quantum core drew energy directly from the gas giant's magnetic field, storing it for the journey ahead. In Earth orbit, the Void Collective's ships maintained their threatening positions, their biomechanical sensors focused on the planet below. They detected the rising panic, the futile military preparations, exactly what they expected from a primitive organic civilization facing superior force. Then their sensors detected something impossible. The Prometheus emerged from Jupiter's atmosphere like a rising star, its quantum fields bending light around it in ways that made it appear to exist in multiple places simultaneously. The ship's true size became apparent as it accelerated toward Earth, moving with a grace that defied its massive scale. The Void Collective's response was immediate and predictable. Their flagship, a massive biomechanical construct that resembled a twisted cathedral, launched a swarm of fighter craft. Energy weapons powered up, targeting systems locked onto the approaching human vessel. But the Prometheus was already moving in ways their targeting systems couldn't predict. The ship's quantum fields allowed it to exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime, making it virtually impossible to hit with conventional weapons. "They're preparing to fire," Araya announced, analyzing the Void Collective's ship movements. "Shall we demonstrate our defensive capabilities?" Maya smiled, feeling the crew's collective anticipation through the quantum link. "Let them fire first," she said. "Let them learn exactly what they're dealing with." The Void Collective's attack came as a devastating barrage of energy weapons and biomechanical torpedoes. Under normal circumstances, such an assault would have vaporized any human vessel. But as the weapons approached the Prometheus, reality itself seemed to twist. The energy beams bent around the ship's quantum fields, their power absorbed and redirected. The biomechanical torpedoes froze in space, caught in temporal distortion fields. The Prometheus hadn't just defended itself, it had turned the laws of physics themselves into a shield. Through their quantum link, Maya felt the crew's collective satisfaction. Decades of secrecy, of hiding humanity's true capabilities, had led to this moment. The Void Collective was about to learn that they weren't dealing with a primitive organic civilization. They were facing something they had never encountered before. Humanity had evolved beyond the simple merger of biology and technology. They had touched something far more fundamental, the quantum nature of consciousness itself. And now, as the Prometheus took up position between Earth and the alien fleet, that evolution was about to change the galaxy forever. The Void Collective's initial shock at the Prometheus's capabilities quickly turned to desperate aggression. Their biomechanical ships swarmed like angry insects, launching wave after wave of attacks against the human vessel. But their weapons continued to prove useless against the Prometheus's quantum fields. "They're adapting their attack patterns," Araya announced, her quantum consciousness analyzing the alien movements. "The collective is attempting to establish a resonance pattern in our defensive fields." Maya felt the shift through her neural link with the ship. The Void Collective wasn't primitive. They were capable of learning, of adjusting their tactics based on new information. But they were still thinking in conventional terms, still trying to apply biomechanical solutions to a quantum problem. "Let them think they're making progress," Admiral Chen's hologram suggested. "It's time to reveal the next phase." Deep beneath Earth's oceans, in secret facilities built into the abyssal plains, humanity's other projects were stirring to life. The Prometheus had never been meant to fight alone. It was simply the first, the prototype that proved the concept. Now, as the Void Collective focused their attention on the battle above Earth, other quantum vessels prepared to join the fight. The first sign came as a disturbance in the Pacific Ocean. The waters began to churn, and then parted as the Helios rose from the depths. Unlike the Prometheus, the Helios was built for pure speed, its quantum fields allowing it to manipulate space-time itself for propulsion. Its hull gleamed like liquid sunlight as it accelerated into orbit. From the Atlantic emerged the Athena, a vessel specialized in quantum field manipulation. Its very presence distorted reality around it, creating a zone where the laws of physics became suggestions rather than rules. The Indian Ocean gave birth to the Shiva, a ship designed specifically to counter the Void Collective's biomechanical technology. The alien fleet's reaction to the emergence of these new vessels was chaos. Their carefully coordinated attack patterns broke down as sensors reported impossible readings from multiple directions. The quantum signatures of the human ships defied their understanding of physics. Through the neural link, Maya felt a surge of pride from her crew. "The Void Collective assumed we would develop technology along the same lines they did," she said. "They never considered that we might find a completely different path." The 4 human ships took up formation around Earth, their quantum fields interconnecting to create a defense network that covered the entire planet. But they weren't finished. From scientific outposts on Mars, from mining facilities in the asteroid belt, from research stations orbiting Saturn, more ships appeared. Each vessel was unique, designed for specific purposes, but all sharing the same fundamental breakthrough: the ability to encode human consciousness into quantum states. They moved with impossible grace, their actions coordinated not by conventional communications, but by quantum entanglement. Impossible came the transmission from the Void Collective's flagship. Their message still came as pulses of light and sound, but now there was something new in the translation. "Fear, your species was monitored. Your development was tracked. This level of advancement cannot exist." Admiral Chen's hologram smiled. "You monitored what we wanted you to monitor," she replied. "You tracked the development we wanted you to see. While you watched our surface activities, our space stations, our conventional military. Humanity's true progress was happening out of sight. The Void Collective's biomechanical ships began to pull back, their swarm-like attack patterns dissolving into defensive formations. Their scanners were detecting more quantum signatures, more impossible readings. Humanity hadn't just built a few advanced ships, they had created an entire fleet, each vessel representing a different application of their quantum technology. Your choice of hiding places was ingenious, HFY observed, her quantum consciousness analyzing the alien fleet's reactions. Jupiter's radiation masked the Prometheus's energy signature. The ocean depths blocked scans of the others. Even your asteroid belt facilities were disguised as simple mining operations. Maya watched through the ship's sensors as more human vessels took up positions around Earth. The Void Collective's assumption of superiority had been based on a fundamental misconception. They had believed that merging organic life with mechanical systems was the peak of evolution. They had never considered that consciousness itself could be transformed into something entirely new. Now, as their fleet faced the combined might of humanity's quantum ships, the Void Collective was learning a harsh lesson about the danger of assumptions. The primitives they had come to optimize had already evolved beyond anything they could comprehend. The Void Collective's flagship hung motionless in space, its biomechanical surface rippling with patterns of confusion and distress. Around it, the alien fleet had arranged itself in a defensive sphere, their weapons charged but inactive. They had ceased all attacks after their last barrage had been not just deflected, but completely absorbed by the human ship's quantum fields. Through the Prometheus's quantum sensors, Maya observed something fascinating in the aliens' biomechanical technology. Their ships are actually evolving, she reported to Admiral Chen. They're attempting to adapt their very structure to counter our quantum fields. HFY's consciousness expanded through the sensor networks. Confirmed. The Void Collective's biomechanical integration allows their vessels to modify their fundamental properties. However, they are still bound by conventional physics. They cannot match our quantum state manipulation. A new transmission came from the alien flagship, this one different from their previous communications. Instead of the usual light and sound pulses, it came as a direct quantum signal, the Void Collective attempting to speak to humans in their own language. Your advancement is unprecedented, the message stated. No species has ever hidden their true capabilities from us. No species has ever developed technology that surpasses our biomechanical integration. We request explanation. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared simultaneously on all human vessels. Should we show them? She asked, her question reaching across the quantum link that connected all the ships and their crews. Maya felt the collective agreement through the neural network. It was time to reveal the final truth, to show the Void Collective exactly what they were facing. The Prometheus's quantum core pulsed, and a holographic display appeared in the space between the human and alien fleets. It showed the history that the Void Collective had never seen, the true story of human technological development. They watched as humanity, upon first detecting the Void Collective's approach decades ago, made a crucial decision. Instead of following the obvious path of merging biology with technology, human scientists had questioned the nature of consciousness itself. The breakthrough had come from an unexpected direction: quantum physics. The discovery that consciousness could be encoded in quantum states had led to a completely new understanding of existence. The human ships weren't just vessels controlled by integrated crews, they were new forms of conscious existence. Your biomechanical integration is impressive, Maya transmitted to the alien fleet, but it's still bound by the limitations of physical form. We chose to transcend those limitations entirely. To demonstrate, she allowed her consciousness to fully merge with the Prometheus's quantum systems. The ship's hull began to shift, not through mechanical means like the Void Collective's vessels, but through direct manipulation of matter at the quantum level. The entire vessel briefly existed in multiple states simultaneously, a demonstration of possibilities that the aliens' biomechanical technology couldn't comprehend. The Void Collective's response was immediate and unprecedented. Their ships began to power down, their aggressive posture dissolving. Through their quantum sensors, the human fleet could detect massive changes occurring within the alien vessels. Their biomechanical systems were being completely reorganized. "They're not retreating," Araya announced, her quantum consciousness analyzing the changes. "They're attempting to understand." The Void Collective's entire civilization is based on the belief that their biomechanical integration was the pinnacle of evolution. "We have shown them an entirely new possibility." Admiral Chen's hologram smiled. "Perhaps this is a better outcome than conflict," she suggested. "They came to force their version of advancement upon us. Instead, we have given them a glimpse of what real advancement looks like." Through the quantum link, Maya felt the collective agreement of all the human ships and their crews. They had prepared for war, but maybe they had achieved something far more valuable: the opportunity to guide another civilization toward a greater understanding of existence itself. The Void Collective's flagship transmitted again, this time with a message that none of them had expected. "We request knowledge. Your path is unknown to us. We would learn." The deep space between Earth and Mars became a classroom unlike any in human history. The Void Collective's ships arranged themselves in a vast spiral pattern around the Prometheus and its sister vessels, their biomechanical surfaces now calm and receptive rather than aggressive. The quantum exchange of information between the two civilizations illuminated space itself with patterns of light that human scientists would study for decades to come. "Their ability to adapt is remarkable," Maya observed through the quantum link. She watched as the alien vessels began their first tentative experiments with quantum field manipulation, their biomechanical systems struggling to comprehend principles that existed beyond conventional physics. Araya's consciousness rippled through the quantum network. The Void Collective's fundamental error was not technological, she analyzed. It was philosophical. They believed that merging organic and mechanical systems was the ultimate form of evolution. They never questioned what lay beyond both. In the quantum space between ships, human consciousness met alien biomechanical intelligence, and both began to change. The Void Collective learned to see beyond the limitations of their merged physical forms, while humans gained new insights into the potential applications of biomechanical integration within quantum frameworks. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared in the Prometheus's quantum bridge. The Security Council has received requests from 17 other spacefaring civilizations, she announced. Word of what happened here has spread. The galaxy wants to know how humanity achieved this level of advancement in secret. Maya felt a ripple of amusement through the neural link. Humanity's greatest achievement hadn't just been technological. It had been their ability to keep that technology hidden until the right moment. The quantum ships, the consciousness integration, the fundamental breakthroughs in physics, all of it had been developed in secret while the galaxy watched Earth's apparent slow progress in conventional spaceflight. Through their quantum sensors, they detected more changes in the Void Collective's ships. The alien vessels were beginning to exhibit quantum properties, their biomechanical systems gradually adapting to incorporate the new principles they were learning. But unlike their previous evolution, which had been focused on domination and optimization of other species, this change was driven by understanding and cooperation. "We had judged your kind as primitive," came a transmission from the Void Collective's flagship. "We now understand that we were the primitive ones, trapped in our certainty that we have found the only path to advancement. You have shown us that evolution has no endpoint, no final form." The human fleet maintained its defensive formation around Earth, but the tension of potential conflict had been replaced by something else: the excitement of discovery. Each interaction between human and alien vessels revealed new possibilities, new ways of understanding the quantum nature of existence itself. Perhaps this was always the true purpose of the Prometheus project, Maya suggested, her consciousness expanding through the ship's quantum systems. Not just to defend Earth, but to show the galaxy a new way forward. The quantum core pulsed with new energy as more alien ships arrived in the solar system, not to conquer, but to learn. The Void Collective's message had spread across their empire, and their entire civilization was beginning to transform. The beings who had once sought to forcibly optimize organic life were now undertaking a voluntary evolution of their own. Admiral Chen's hologram smiled as she watched the gathering of ships around Earth. "Humanity's greatest weapon," she said, "was never our technology. It was our ability to imagine possibilities that others couldn't see. While the galaxy focused on merging the physical and the mechanical, we dared to ask what lay beyond both." Through the quantum link, Maya felt the collective satisfaction of all the human ships and their crews. They had prepared for war, but achieved something far greater: the beginning of a new era of galactic civilization. The quantum principles that humanity had discovered would transform not just their own species, but all intelligent life that was ready to evolve beyond physical limitations. As Earth's sun rose over the horizon, its light illuminated a scene that would have been impossible just days before. Human quantum ships and void collective vessels working together, their combined technologies creating possibilities that neither civilization had imagined alone. The future that was unfolding wasn't one of conflict or conquest, but of unlimited potential and endless discovery. The stars themselves seemed brighter somehow, as if celebrating the dawn of a new age in the galaxy's history.